In this training, we're going to go through the process of adding a new service order to the Yes Management System. We're also going to go through adding a new customer and adding a vehicle to an existing customer. Process begins down in the lower left-hand corner with the Add button. When I click the Add button, it brings up a screen of the different kinds of service orders that we can add. Now we're going to add a basic walk-in invoice, and then I'll go ahead and click Next Step. I can type in a search for the customer, and I'll go ahead and type in Jones and then press the Enter key, or I could click the search button. Now we've got a lot of hits here, but we're going to say that the customer that we're looking for isn't in our list. So I'll go ahead and click Add Customer. And this takes me to an empty customer vehicle screen, and we have two areas here. We have the customer information at the top, and this is shared by all their vehicles, so that if you make a change on one, it'll make a change on the others. And then we have the vehicle specific information down at the bottom. So let's go ahead and fill that out. I'm going to put in the name Brad Jones, and then I'm going to hit the Enter key, which will take us to the next appropriate field. Now this is the company name field, and if this is a company account, we want to put something in here. But if it is a non-commercial customer, leave this blank, because that's how the Yes system knows whether it's a commercial account or not, is whether there's any value in this field. So I'll go ahead and hit Enter, and then I'll put an address here for street. And then I'll hit Enter, and you'll see it jumps down to the zip code field. And I can put in a zip code, and when it does, it auto-populates the city, state, and area code. Now, if ever that information is incorrect, you can click into the appropriate field and correct it, and it'll update the zip code database. Let's put a FACO number here. And then from this point, I can put in vehicle-specific information. If there are special phone numbers that are attached to the owner of that vehicle, I can record them here. I can record contact information here. If this isn't Brad's vehicle but his son's vehicle, I can put his name here. Or I could leave Brad's name to let the service writers know that this is his primary vehicle. If I plan on using the email system for marketing or emailing invoices, I can record his email address here. And then I can put in the year, make, model, engine information. From this screen, I can, if we're using our Carfax license plate to Vindicator, I can put in his license plate and state, and then click this button, and it'll bring in the year, make, model, and VIN. I can also type in anything I want here. I can record fleet number if this is a commercial account, and this is it has a unit number. Color of the vehicle. I can record the marketing source, which would be how we got this customer the very first time they came in, and any of that additional information. There's a few other fields that you can put in here, but it's important to know that you don't need to fill these out the first time you're making the customer. You can fill that out after you've made the invoice for the customer and got the customer out the door. So this is a data collection source. I'll go ahead and click Save, and this takes us into our invoice for the customer, and it has a bunch of starting stuff already, and that's because we have some special job kits which are there to always put something onto every new ticket. That is optional. If we remove that, then this 9-point complimentary inspection and other items here won't be included. Now there's other kinds of service orders that you can make, and they build in much the same way we built this one. I can create an appointment, which also brings me to the customer lookup screen where I can look up Mr. Jones. And here's the Kia Spectra that we just added. But let's say I'm not adding a new customer. I'm using this existing customer, but we're adding another vehicle. I can click the Add Vehicle button, and you'll see it has all the same year, make, model information, and I can just put in the information that's specific for this vehicle. Okay, this takes us into the appointment, and we can put in why the customer is coming in. Now to bring up this text screen, all I did was start to type text. I can click the Add Text button to bring this screen up, but the hotkey for adding text is really just to start typing, and that's something that we're going to do very commonly with appointments, is record why they're coming in. I can also pre-bill out the service. I can put in oil change kits, labor, parts, anything necessary to set up the appointment so that I've saved some time when they come in. But I'm going to just leave it with this note. I'll click OK, and this brings up our scheduler screen where we can look at the various days and say, well, let's bring this one in at 10 a.m. Now, if I had pre-billed out anything, it would show a collection of hours here, which would then work against the total hours that we have available so that we can schedule accordingly and not overschedule for a day. I can also specify extra time, which will then take away from that total time for the day, again, so that I can control my hours available ahead of time and not overbook. We've set this for a particular day and time, and I'll go ahead and click Next Step, and we've now created the appointment. So we've done two different forms of invoice creation. We've done the invoice itself, where we added the customer and the vehicle at the same time, and we've done an appointment where we've added the vehicle but not the customer. Another kind of service order you can make is a counter ticket, and a counter ticket is just a parts ticket. It doesn't have a customer or vehicle attached to it. It's there just to bill out any kind of part sales so that we can receive a payment for them. And we'll click on today's schedule, and we have a counter ticket down here with that spark plug sale. Now, the last kind of service order you can make is an estimate. Estimate builds like any other service order. I can click Jones right here, and we'll go ahead and pick a different Jones, Nancy Jones, and then I'll highlight that existing customer and vehicle, and then just hit the Enter key, or I can click the Start Estimate button, and it shows we already have a service order for that vehicle, but I'm going to go ahead and create a new ticket, and this represents just an estimate. I'm taking a look at the customer screen, see if I need to change any information here. I'll go ahead and click Save. It also shows the services needed screen, giving me an opportunity to bill out any other services necessary. But I'm going to bypass that and just take us inside the service order where I can bill out anything as an estimate. This service order doesn't have an invoice number. Appointments don't have invoice numbers, not until they're turned into invoices. And everything on that is considered an estimate status. The use for a walk-in estimate, I find them mostly used as like good things for phone quotes, or walk-in estimate where you're not actually charging the customer something.